Look at that. Nuvo.
Hello, everyone.
Hello.
Welcome to Ken's Creations Live. I'm debating if we should zoom. We might zoom in later, but right now I think we're fine. I'm going to give everyone a chance to join. Today we're playing with Nuvo embellishment mousse. I'm so excited. This stuff is amazing. And we're playing with bright colors. Couple things. We are live right now, but this will get posted after the fact and we won't be live then. But during live, we get to chat with everyone. I'm so excited. So as we are doing our project, sometimes people ask questions. Sean tries to catch the questions and asks them live so we can answer them. Also know in Spokane today, we are having thunderstorms and hopefully our power doesn't go out. But if we disappear out of nowhere, it's because our power went out, which is super sad. Also, down below, I've given you the description, all of the supplies we're using. If you use those links, it supports us. Thank you. There's also some links down there for our Amazon store and Cricut and Silhouette and all this cool stuff. And I also thank the people that gave us super chats in the past 30 days. I get that question all the time. What is super chat? And a super chat, if you are on an Android device or your computer, under the chat, you'll see a little $sign. If you hit that, you can donate money to Ken's Creations. But I want to thank everyone that has done that this far.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. And I don't know if there's anything else.
And hello.
Share it with your friends and everything.
Hello to everybody who's here.
Yes.
Hello, hello. And
Yes. So I love live. This is my way of trying to have fun with you guys, but let's get started. I don't actually have the card to show you completed because I gave it to my brother for his birthday, but I had so much fun. I'll walk you through all of the steps. For those of you who don't know what this is from Tonic Studios. It is Nuvo embellishment mousse. And at first I didn't really know what to do with it, but I'm telling you what, now that I have played with it, I am obsessed with it. Once again, if you have any questions, please let Sean know. He is gathering it, and then he...
Oh, thank you, Vita.
Oh, thank you, Vita.
I think I'm pronouncing that right.
She gave us a super chat before, and she's in our thank you section.
Yes, thank you.
So Sean will try to catch your questions. If the question is not about this project, please know that sometimes we will wait until the very end to share those ones. All right, we are going to get started here.
Scissors, not right.
Yes. Now, this stuff, when I first got Nuvo Mousse, I didn't really know what to do with it. I was kind of overwhelmed. And now, I'm telling you what, there are so many different things you can do with it. But I'm going to show you one technique that I love. And we do have to work kind of quick. This stuff does dry pretty quick. And what we're going to be doing is we're going to be not only adding Nuvo Mousse, but we're going to be using some of Brutus Monroe's Icicle embossing powder. And what this does is it gives it kind of like a crystallized look. It's kind of the best way I can describe it. So essentially the card base, I'm doing pink, the card is green, but here is basically what the card's going to look like stacked. So we have white cardstock with a little bit of black showing through and then this pink. So I'm going to start with this layer.
Do we know how much the Nuvo is? Somebody just asked.
So I gave you the links down below. The best place to get this, do not get it on Amazon right now because it's like $7.99, but you have to pay $3 shipping on each one. Blitzy has it, I want to say, for $5.79. If you go down below, click on the Blitzy link that I gave you for either, this one here is called Citrus Green, and this one that I'm using is called Pink Flambe. That will take you to Blitzy's store and you'll see all the colors. Just so you guys know, the colors I'm working with for cardstock is Fun Stamper's Journey. I'm using Beach Breeze, Bubblegum, Electric Lime, and Lavender Fusion. I gave you the links down below, but I got, one time someone said, can you please tell us the color of cardstock you're using just so that way we can follow along. So there you are.
There you go.
Yeah, so let's get started. I'm going to start with this guy here, which is the bubble gum. And I just have this stencil, which is called Ring Stacks from Fun Stamper's Journey. You can use any stencil. And I want to make sure this does not move during my process. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this and
taper down.
Put just a little bit of tape so this way it doesn't move. Now this is the Ken Oliver craft mat, so it's definitely not going to move on this. But just to be on the safe side, I could just put a little bit of, and this is just blue painter's tape. I love this stuff. I use it for everything. So here we go. We have our stencil, and we're gonna, to get our, the Nuvo Mousse is, I don't think I've even opened, oh, I have opened it. The Nuvo Mousse is, it's not, I want to say it's consistency of a thick frosting. Here it is.
Like mousse.
Like mousse. Mousse! And I'm just using a Ranger blending tool. Here's the bad boy right here. And I am putting a lot on here. I want a lot because, first of all, I don't want it to dry. You can rehydrate it with water if you needed to. But I'm going to be putting embossing powder directly on it when we're done. So I'm actually going to take this and get a good amount on there. And I'm not too worried about getting it anywhere else. As long as you have a pretty good stencil, it won't seep through because, well, especially if you have, I love, the one reason I love this Ken Oliver craft mat is really nothing moves on it.
Yeah, it's very cool.
It is super cool. And I'm probably going to go very, not liberal, what's the word I'm looking for? Generous.
Generous, thick.
Yeah.
Lots of.
Yeah. So we're going to keep putting a lot on there. I have to say, I'm pretty obsessed with this stuff now that I've played with it. You can do so much with it. It's super easy to use. It gives it a beautiful finish. I could leave it just like this and not add the embossing powder to give it a just the color look on it. But the embossing powder, what I love about this embossing powder is it gives it almost a, I want to say, a crystallized look.
You told me the mat is 3 feet wide by 2 feet.
Yes, the best price also on this is at DIXIE. I gave you the link down below, but I also gave you Amazon just in case I know there are some Amazon people out there that love their Amazon.
But sometimes you have to go somewhere else to get it cheaper.
Yeah, and this mat, I will tell you, I drug my feet on this mat because it is expensive. But it is by far surpassed my expectations. All right, so I'm going to lift this out of the way, and we're going to just peel it off of here. Oh, look at that. That's gorgeous.
Pretty.
Here it is. So, and normally I would clean up, but we need to get this stuff on here pretty quick because I don't want this stuff to dry. It's not going to dry super quick, but you know. So this is the icicle. This is not white, it's icicle, and I am going to put a fairly good amount on here. And I always just put it on a cardstock like this, just because you want to make sure you get a nice coverage. There's some areas here I didn't get it on. That could be because the Nuvo already dried there, which it did. That's how quickly this stuff dries. All right, so I have a good amount on there. I'm going to let Sean put this back on the... And now all I need to do is hit it with my heat tool. Now I just have the Fun Stamper's Journey. Any heat tool would work. But I'm going to get it nice and warm. Now you're going to see it go from this dusty kind of look. And it's going to turn into essentially like an icicle. And while that is warming up, I'm going to have Sean clean up this.
How can I do it when you're doing it?
Well...
Somebody was asking if we know of any good crafting stores in the Washington area, but of course they're going from British Columbia across the border, and that's the Seattle area, which is way, way far away from us. So, not
yeah,
really sure.
I mean, our typical ones are Michael's and Hobby Lobby. They're not. We don't have a lot of independents, which is kind of sad. But all right, so I'm going to go ahead and start heating this, and you're going to see it go from
a light to a dark.
Yeah. I am gonna, can I have you hold that really quick before I go too much more? I'm gonna take this off. I didn't do this on the last time and it was fine. It just always worries me that I'm gonna rip my paper afterwards, so. Alright, here we go. Now let's go ahead and do this. Once again, you're not too worried about your coverage of your embossing powder because If you don't get it a perfect amount, it's fine. Now this paper, you do kind of want to use a nice quality paper because it will curl on you. And if you didn't use a thick paper, you're not going to be able to fix that.
You know, you can't quite tell from the camera, but it, as he's doing this, it looks like it's wet as it's doing its transformation.
Transformation.
I'm going to reach right underneath you to get that lid.
Okay.
And also grab the Nuvo lid. Sorry, so it doesn't dry out. Can you use any embossing powder with it?
Yep. Well, I mean, if you use a color embossing powder, i.e. black or white, it's going to cover the color underneath. So by using the Brutus Monroe Icicle or some sort of transparency embossing powder, it's going to heighten the color underneath, and that's what we want. But obviously you wouldn't want to use black or white or something like that because it will... Alright, so we just want to make sure we get all of it. There's a few little pieces here that we still have that are powdery.
I'll show you a close-up here in a sec, but it's very beautiful. I think there's one right there.
Do you see any more, Sean?
Maybe right there.
Right where? Whoa.
Whoa.
Right where?
Possibly there, if it's already been in the middle, maybe. Just maybe not that thick there. Oh, that's good.
Alright. And let's get you a close-up here what it looks like when it's all done. So it went from that grainy look to a real nice shiny look there. And we just want to let this dry for a few seconds. If there was a question, sorry, we were looking at that. I saw someone say I was wondering the same thing. So if you want to ask that question again. Does the mousse crack? It, in my experience, has not. And I'm not sure what you mean by crack, but when you heat it, does it crack? No. When it bends, it doesn't crack. So it's pretty flexible once it dries. So.
Again, Tanya, we used the Brutus Monroe's Icicle. Oops, right, there we go. Is the one we used, so it looks like this.
The next thing I'm going to do is I am going to bring in my, I'm going to go ahead and bring this out here. Bring in my Cuttlebug. We're going to cut some things out of dies. Dies?
Would the clear embossing work as well?
Yes.
Yes. Clear, a really light white. This one's obviously got a slight...
I would do any kind of transparency. So normally on the Icicle, when I would use this, it would literally make it look like an icicle. Gives it a frosted look. But any kind of transparency. So for the dies, we are using this. This is a Tim Holtz. It's called the Ink and I want to say it's called Ink and Splatter die. It's got a circle, some other things. We're using a die from Little Inkers. It's a smile die. Here you go. This will be where my sentiment goes. It's just a pennant die from Little Inkers. And then her dual stitch star dies, which I love because you get a stitch on the outside and then you get a stitch on the inside. Now we will be cutting these on different things I'll show you here. We're going to start with the smile on Cricut's glitter black cardstock. Now this stuff you do need to run through your machine a few times because it is a little bit thicker. And I'm going to show you how I don't have the offsets for these. So I'm going to show you how I'm going to use my Brother Scan and Cut to make offsets for a few of these. I often get asked, you know, is one better than the other? The Cuttlebug versus the Amaze Machine or Spellbinders. In my opinion, they all do the same. It kind of depends on the square footage of your, the space you're working and if you have a preference. So, we have the smile one done here. And we do have some areas we need to get out here. So I used an awesome sentiment on the last one. So it said something, I think you are so awesome. This one is going to say, you make me smile.
Somebody asked, do you need to use a metal plate or a shim when doing this?
So you do not have to use a metal plate. These are these are bent, but normally I use this because it's a magnetic plate, so it keeps your dies in place. So your die doesn't move when you run it through. If you're using this and just these, I would use probably just a little bit of a shim, or you would use the A, B, and C plate.
And there you go.
Yeah. All right, so we have the smile. We'll put that off to the side. The next thing I will cut is, let's go ahead and cut out of, I think I'm going to do lime green. And we're going to cut this guy right here, which is one of my favorite. I love this die set. He also has a Christmas die set of the same thing. So if you like this die set, this one comes with a circle, this, I think a star maybe. But he also has a Christmas one that has a Christmas tree. I want to say maybe a snowflake. I don't remember, but
pretty cool.
Yeah. Now this one, because it's not, the paper I'm putting it through is not as thick, I only need to put it through once. You could, if you wanted to, put it through more, but no reason to. And then there you go. Now this one, some people will use a dryer sheet, wax paper, so they don't have to poke this out. There's controversy there though, because some people will say that ruins your die. So I don't know necessarily if it does or not, but I tend to just do this. Angela. So here we have that. Now we're not going to end up using this whole thing, but we're all ready to go with that. We'll put that off to the side. The next thing I'm going to cut using, let's do blue. This is the beach.
Oh, thank you, Lynn. It's the Scribbles and Splat.
Scribbles and Splat. Thank you. I knew it had a name like that. So this one's just going to be where my sentiment is. So this, I'm going to be using the blue color. We're going to run that through. If you had a Cricut machine, Silhouette, anything like that, you could probably do a lot of this stuff using those. So this is just what I had available to me. The last thing we're going to cut is the 2 stars.
Linda said she bought that one when you did the coffee splat.
That
was a great
coffee splat. That's right. Has the splat. That's right. I should show you the whole set. It's one of my favorite sets.
It's a really cool set.
It's so cool, and it's just my style. I really like kind of that messy, random style, and I love it. So what I love about these dies, these are through Little Inkers. I gave you the link down below, but she has these in all sorts of styles. When you're done with this, because it has the dual stitch die, there you go, I'll let it do that. Not only do you get the star with the stitch, so there you go, there's a star with the stitch. You also, oh, thanks, Michael, I apologize.
Sorry, yeah, I was looking the wrong way, sorry.
You also get the stitch on the outside, which is really cool because you have the star, but you could make this your card and almost a shaker card and have this, but you get that stitch. That's why I love, love, love these dies. All right, so we have everything that we need cut out. The next thing though I want to do is I do want these to have a little bit of sparkle to them. And I'm just going to use Spectrum Noir. They have these, which are just sparkle pens. These put out a lot of sparkle, so I'm going to brush the top of these and let them dry, so that way when I'm ready to put my card, they're ready to go. Now you could do a couple different layers if you want a lot of sparkle. They do have different colors, but I tend to always use color cardstock and then add that on there. But you can see there how much sparkle it added. Oh, I love those. All right, so those are going off to the side. And now comes a tricky part, because we got to try to get my brother's scan and cut in here. So give me 1 sec. I'm going to bring some stuff out here. Now what I'm doing here is I need to make some offsets for my smile. I want, if you notice on the main card, I had a white basically offset around this, but I don't have dies that do that. So I'm going to use my brother's scan and cut. It's a very simple thing to do. One of the #1 things I use is my brother's scan and cut is to cut out stamps and to do an offset like this. So let me plug this in and show you how I do this. We're going to turn this bad boy on. And the number one thing I hate about Brother Scan and Cut is I don't like their mats. But what I do is I took a mat. This is the Scan and Cut 2, their updated one. I take their mat, and then I take a Cricut mat, cut it out to size to fit into this box, and then using strong adhesive, I do that. And for me,
smart thing that is.
It was a tool because I'm telling you what, their mats lose tackiness very quick. So we are gonna put this smile, doesn't matter. I'll put it just right over here. Just like so. And I'm gonna bring this back in here. And we're gonna be choosing, I wanted this kind of down. I don't know if you guys can see it, but
yeah, it's the glare.
Right there, we're gonna be choosing Scan, and we're gonna do a direct cut. And first we have to load our mat. And I do have to give it some extra room back here, so you're gonna see this go away. But right here, all I have to do is, I'm on color mode, so I'm gonna hit start.
Somebody asked, what else? I saw the question, but now I forgot what it was. I'm so sorry. I say Linda asked it, but I don't remember what it was.
So essentially what this is going to do is it's going to give me, let me see if I can do this right here. It gives me my smile. Now I can frame it, right like so. And normally if this was a stamp, it's because I want to cut out the stamp. But what I'm using this for is so I can get an offset around it. So you could even, if you had a Cricut and you wanted to create an offset, that program doesn't do that. You could cut it out on your Cricut and then create a perfect offset here. So we picked up some other stuff there.
Heidi was asking, what adhesive did you use on the back of this? Do you remember?
I just used my Scotch ATG. And I used a lot of it.
But you could use almost anything, even
absolutely
spray adhesive.
Yeah.
Whatever, yeah.
Alright, so there is, you don't see it, but it says smile, but I'm going to hit there and hit OK. There's this little option here, which is kind of a circle thing, and I'm going to hit that, and it gives me an outline distance. And I'm actually going to go up, I think I'm going to do, should I do 0.12 or just 0.8, Sean? What do you think? I don't remember what I did last time.
I thought you did 0.04, but maybe not.
I think I'll do 0.08. Because that will be, yeah, let's do that. So now, once I hit OK, it knows that I'm going to want to cut this. So all I have to do is remove my smile. So the white's going to go right here. I'm going to remove the smile. And then put my white cardstock. Make sure it's on there real good. This is why I use the Cricut mat, is that way I can get on there. I'm going to hit, I'm trying to get you guys to see the screen. I'm going to hit cut. And then just start.
And for those who did ask, yesterday went fine. All was good.
Yay. Alright, so we'll remove this bad boy. Remove my thing here. And what we've created now is an offset for my smile. Just like that.
Sweet.
So now I have a nice offset for that smile for my card. Now we're going to do the same thing for this ink splat, which is this guy right here. Now the only thing on this one is I am going to actually put it on this verse. And the reason why is if I don't, because this is so fine, it possibly, to glue it perfectly in there, it's not going to scan right. Well, maybe not. I think we'll be fine, actually. Let's try it. What's the worst that can happen, right, Sean?
What was that look?
What's the worst that can happen, right? Let's try it.
It may not work. Do it again.
Alright, so now we're going to hit home because we're doing a whole new pattern. We're going to do scan, direct cut, start. And it's going to scan this thing right here, which is my little squiggly line.
Squiggly splat.
We're gonna see if it... Yeah, we had an interaction with the dog. You know what, the lady that, for those of you who didn't know, we had someone that kicked one of our dogs and then tried punching Sean, or did punch Sean.
Yeah, just grazed my nose.
I don't think she's in this neighborhood, so hopefully we won't have to deal with her again. But, you know, like I told Sean, it is what it is. But Sean was good and he didn't hit girls.
Nope.
So this one I'm just going to do, I think, 0.4 outline is all I want. So once again, I'm just going to remove this guy. And we're going to add cardstock. Make sure it's on there really, really good. We're going to hit cut. I'll bring this up so you guys can see it. Cut and start.
You know, pull back so it doesn't get all crunched up back there. Yeah, it was almost an assault and battery, but she just like a tiny nit. I mean, there's no nit, no nothing. It grazed my nose. And that
it was one of those moments in life I'm like standing there and thinking, is this really happening? Like, yeah. Did she just deck you? And Sean's like, yep. Yeah. I was like, all right, well.
Because she kicked the dog, and I told her, don't kick my dog. And then she just gave me this evil look and took a swing at me, and she just didn't fully connect. Just barely touched me.
All right, so we have our offset there. And now we are done with the scan and cut. So basically all that was to get me an offset around all my stuff. So I'm going to unhook this. And I'm not going to be using that entire squiggly line. So I will be cutting that down. I'll show you here in one sec. I'm going to clean my area because now we can start building our card. Can you hand me a dry towel, Sean?
Oh, sure. Somebody asked if I have a mic on. Yes, I do. I don't seem to speak as loud as Kenny does.
No one does.
So I have to wear a microphone. That's why I'm a little more, probably more clear than he is.
All right. So now we can go ahead and let's start with this. And I'm going to use, I don't know if Tamitha's in here.
I didn't see her today.
Okay. So. She sent me this stuff. May made it with this really fine tip really glue, nice. And it works perfect for something like this. So it is awesome because now I can control the amount of glue going on here, which is not a lot, and get it perfectly positioned. I didn't grab the link. I do apologize, but it's in May Made It store, and I know a lot of people use this. It's basic. I think it's called Art Glitter Glue is what the official name of this stuff is.
She's on a cruise right now.
Oh, that's right. She's on May's cruise.
Yeah, she's on the May cruise.
That's where Melody Lane is too.
Yeah, and a few others, and I think Sheila is there too.
All right, so as easy as that. So we have that offset. You could use a sticker maker. Sticker maker used to be my go-to thing. The reason I stopped using it is you have to constantly get in all the small crevices on a sticker maker, and the other thing I didn't like about it was if I missed an area, it gunks up my paper. So I haven't been using my sticker maker as much. That could be because I don't take enough time, and you're supposed, on a sticker maker, you're supposed to rub it a lot to make sure basically the part that's stuck in the negative space is you know, I don't know the whole process, but I just haven't used it in a while. Probably because I'm addicted to this glue.
It works really good for if it's a solid piece of something small. It works great, but if it's intricate like this, it's a little more difficult.
Yeah.
To deal with.
Now I'm going to be cutting this. I'm probably not on camera, am I? Sorry, guys. I mean, the bottom part is not glued, which is fine because I'm actually just going to be cutting this because I only need this portion of it. So I'm going to be cutting right there.
Oh, sorry, Sylvia.
So there is that. And we're just going to make sure we have a nice little bit of glue right here. All right. So we can now set this bad boy off to the side. The next thing we're going to do is create our sentiment. And the sentiment I'm using is from a Fun Stamper's Journey stamp right here. It's "You Make Me Proud." But I only want the "You Make Me," so I know some people this might freak you out, but I'm actually going to take the proud part and just cut it off. And I can always just reline it up later if I need to. That's what's nice about red rubber stamps, is you can do that. Now, what we're going to be doing is using Brutus Monroe's Alabaster embossing powder. And we want this to go basically on this little piece right here. So to do this, I am going to be using my Tim Holtz Stamp Positioner. And normally I would use my what's called Embossing Buddy to make sure that I get all the static off. But this is such a small piece, I am not overly worried about. If I do get too much embossing powder on there, I can always just use a paintbrush to get it off. So the "You Make Me" is going to go right here. So I'm just going to make sure I have stamps or magnets here to... And I also want to make sure that I have this right. So on this positioner, you have a clear, you have a rubber. So we want to make sure that the clear word here is facing up.
Why? Because that's not clear, that's a red rubber.
Oh, ha, sorry.
Other way around.
So we want to make sure the red rubber is facing up. Good catch, son. The last time I made this little project, I used a clear stamp. All right. So I'm just going to take Brutus Monroe embossing ink. This is just a clear ink. Essentially, it's getting your stamp a nice stickiness to it. And so I can now... Ta-da! You Make Me. So you'll see there we have a nice... right there. And now I just need to grab...
You can use that one.
What one? This one? Mm-hmm. Sure, why not? Grab just a piece of paper there. We're going to put some white alabaster on here. I tend to go overboard because I want to make sure I get a good transfer.
Yes, you can, Tanya. Extra magnets for your Misty? You can buy that, right?
Yep. I would probably buy the ones from My Sweet Petunia because she has really good magnets, and she just released a bar magnet, so that way you can.
Yeah, that'd be really nice.
Yeah. So I use normally I would have my Embossing Buddy to make sure I didn't have extra, but like I said, I'm not as worried with this, so I'm just taking a paintbrush if I have any extra on there, and I'm just gonna brush it away. There's not much. And now I'm going to give Sean the extra powder here so he can save that. And because this is such a small piece, I am going to grab some tweezers to hold this. So this way when I am heating it, I'm not burning my little fingers. Get my heat tool out. And like I said, I like to heat it up a little bit. So that way it's nice and warm. Because that way you're not exposing it to your ink too much, or to the powder too much. So I'll do it on my skin until I can't stand it, and then I'm going to hit it. I often get asked what is my favorite embossing powder. And I tend to like, the reason I like the Brutus Monroe brand is it's an extra fine, it's ultra fine actually. So even on this kind of stamp, there's little tiny lines in there I can still see. And sometimes if you don't get the right embossing powder, the embossing powder is too big, so when it melts, it fills in those spaces, which does not make me happy, Sean.
No. It
does not. All right, so we can now build our card. So this card will go together pretty easy. We have all of our pieces. So really now we just need my base card, which I just use. Sean, what do I use for my base cards?
They're A2 size cards that you get from
Michael's. Because I'm cheap.
They're on sale.
Because I don't want to use my good paper for my card base. So just going to add my adhesive. I'm using the Fun Stampers Journey Adhesive Runner, which has quickly become my favorite. It wasn't for a while there, but that was because I wasn't using it right. It really does a nice, it's got a good glide on it, I guess is what I'm trying to say. So we're going to line this up.
Sounds like we're going to have to get that bar magnet. Everybody loves it.
That bar magnet, I saw Maymay used it, and I was like, what is that? And she was like, it's in their store now. And I was like, done.
Yeah, somebody just said that Gina K used it, and she loves it too.
Yeah. Yeah, Maymay used it. Gina K used it in one of her videos. It was actually in a live video, I think. And everyone was like, what is that? And she's like, it's this bar magnet, and it's amazing. So this is, I think I want to say it's a 1/4 offset. So the card, an A2 size card is 5.5 by 4.25.
Eighth on each end.
Is that what it is?
You know, 1/4 and an eighth and eighth each was a 1/4, so you'd have an 1/8 inch on each end.
Okay. So we have this, and then this is going to go right here. Now, this is pretty, because we heated it so much, it's kind of warped. So we will probably add just a little bit more adhesive on this than I normally would on something. This dries pretty quick, so you can usually, by the time you're ready to build your card, put it face down without any issue, as long as the embossing powder you used has all been heated. If not, you're going to have that powder residue. But you should be able to know by looking at your project if your embossing powder is finished, what I like to say, cooking, because it will give you, you'll know, it's a dull look from a shiny look. It's very much so noticeable. On this, sorry, I usually don't like my head to be in the shot, but this one I have a very, very, oh, I forgot one last thing on this. On this, because we used embossing powder, your edges are going to have a little bit of a ridge on them. So either, if you have sandpaper, you can use that. I am going to use just my, I don't know where my small set of scissors
They're right there.
Oh, they're right in front of me. So I'm just going to go along and take a pair of scissors and cut any extra off of that embossing powder. Now you could, if you wanted to, you could cut your card size a little big and then cut it. The problem with that, I've noticed sometimes when I do that and then I go use a cutter to cut this, the problem is if I don't cut it just right and it's now crooked, I am not a happy person.
No, you're not.
Because then I have to redo the whole thing. All right. So we're gonna, sorry that my head's gonna be in the shot, but can you, there's all the flakes from that. Can you clean that up?
Yeah, give me one of those.
I really highly suggest, if you don't have a Costco membership, to buy your baby wipes at Costco. Yep. Because you get a ton of them.
Good quality.
And ever since Chalk Couture, I go through baby wipes like they're going out of style.
What's cool is that you get those, because they're all in just packages, and then you kept one of the ones from
because I'm cheap.
And you can put it and reuse the box style.
Yep. So here's what we have.
Pretty.
Ooh la la. All right.
These are non-scented.
Non-scented. All right. So essentially what we're going to do is this portion that you make me and my little squiggly lines. What?
Yeah, you're going here. You want to be over here.
I'm showing them up close. Yeah, an up close shot.
The camera's over there. There you go.
Oh, sorry. Those are not going to be raised up, where the other part, I have a little piece of pink in here. That's no good. The other part is going to be raised up. So we just have to figure out where we want this, which probably right about there. That can go there. Let's see, you make me, so probably need to make this up a little higher. Okay, so now that I kind of know where I want it, we can go ahead and add our adhesive. Now, some people like to stay within the confines of their card. Some like to go off of it like this. I am not one of those. I like to try to stay within the confines of my card, but I'm not judging you if you don't, if you like to go off of it. That is what makes this all unique, right, Sean?
That is so true.
That is Cricut. I hate it. All right, that is much better. All right, so we have that piece. Now we just need to position this guy. This is going to get raised up. So excuse the... You make me smile. Oh, you know what? Maybe I should have done the you make me over there. Yeah. Oh, well, no. 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 I think I'm going to do it right there, which means my squiggly line needs to go there. Okay. What do you think, Sean?
Right about there?
Yeah. So I'm just using that as a little placer.
No gray hair for Kenny.
Gray hair?
They said you don't have gray hair.
I don't have gray hair yet.
Oh, I do. I've got lots of them.
You wouldn't know because you don't have hair.
I know. I shave it.
You shave it. Ba-doop. All right. So now peeps, we can put our smile on. Now I am going to raise the smile up. Now I've gotten very picky on my foam squares.
Yeah, you have.
So I used to go to the dollar store, but now I get either Fun Stamper's Journey or Thermal Web. Thermal Web also has really good foam squares because I want a dense foam square that when it goes through the mail is not going to essentially squish down. Because sometimes you'll use a foam square and if they're not a good dense one, it's not good. So I'm going to use, and I use a lot. What?
Christopher.
What? Hey, Judy, what's up?
Oh, Christopher's there.
I know, he's Judy.
Oh, he's
I call him Judy.
Oh, I didn't know.
Hi, Judy. So I'm using a lot of foam squares because I don't like it when you get a card and it sags in the middle. Nobody wants saggy. When a woman turns 70, she doesn't want saggy.
No.
So I don't want saggy on my cards. We're using... Oh, that's
You got
good.
plenty.
Sean says I had plenty. Plenty. I mean, when Christopher turns 70, he doesn't want saggy. Right, Judy? Alright. So now we are going to remove the backings of all of my... Dude, these are everywhere. Because I use foam squares in every project, I have these. Usually our dogs, when our dogs... My dogs are always underneath me when I do a project, underneath the table, not me. And when they get up, they usually have pieces of paper, the backing of the cards.
All in their hair.
All in their hair. Sometimes if I'm using embossing powder, they have embossing powder in their hair. Casualties of war. Alright. So let's position our smile. You make me smile. We're almost done, Sean.
Mm-hmm.
So, the last thing is our happy little stars. Alright, so we have these stars with glitter. Glitter! This is like, you know what while I'm doing this card, this totally looks like a teenage girl puked all over it with the colors. Because the first card I made was for my nephew, so I wanted it to be, you know, boy colors. But this card is just for us, Sean, us girls. Alright, so let's do... the small star, maybe? Start with the small star. Let's see what this looks like. Yep, done. Wait.
I'd go big bottom, small top.
Whoa. We're talking about a Friday night here?
No.
You want to do big on the bottom, small on the top. Why? Oh, you're right. You're right, Sean. I shouldn't have questioned you. Alright. So we're going to put foam squares on this because I love me foam squares. Uh-oh. 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 Wait, I think we just do one big foam square. I tried putting 2 little foam squares, and they had space issues. They got very, very possessive of their space. Alright. We're going to bring this one just a little bit off, just like that. So it's peeking across the card. What, are you laughing at me?
No, I'm just watching.
That star wants to be the... We'll do this one up there. Ta-da!
Dun, dun, dun.
Dun, dun, dun! There it is.
That's nice.
Isn't that a fun card in the bright colors? You make me smile. So, this, now you could have just used the Nuvo embellishment pink. However, by using Christopher or Brutus Monroe's, here's the deal. You guys want to know something? I'm always going to call this Christopher Allen stuff because that's who he is. But by using Brutus Monroe Icicle, it gives it that nice, what do you want to say, gem look? It's almost like
it's a stained glass, though.
A stained glass, where if you had not used that, your Nuvo would have dried almost like kind of dull. It would have had that metallic finish, but it would have been dull. But by using that icicle embossing powder, look at that, how shiny it is. So when you see this in person, you have the shininess from this, and then this glitter. Let me see if I can get the glitter activated.
It almost looks wet.
Well, it does look almost wet, but it's not. It's dry, Sean.
I know.
See, and then there's that glitter from the smile. Isn't that fun?
It is.
Oh, I don't even know what colors I like more, this one or the project that I made. Which one do you like better? Do you like this one or the one I made?
I like them both. I do like them both.
Well, the other one didn't say you make me smile. The other one said, you are awesome. Everything is awesome.
You are so awesome.
Everything is awesome when you're with me. All right, so I have a question. The first person that can tell me Sean's middle name, I'll send you this card. We'll sign it and send it to you. Does anybody know Sean's middle name? It's an A. I'll give you that. It starts with an A. A. Sean McCoy.
That's right.
Whoever knows it. Ooh, not Alan.
Nope.
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 Nope. Andrew, Alan, nope. Oh, everyone. Oh, there you go. Kathy Lynn's. It's Anthony. Sean Anthony McCoy.
It was supposed to be Aaron, named after my grandfather, but my dad.
Man, everyone wants your middle name to be Alan. That's funny. So if you, either my Facebook page or personal page, if you send me your address, I will get the signed card. Because I still have to send out Christopher's card. Here it is. So I made this for Mr. Christopher Allen. And it's still in my craft room.
Oh my goodness.
So I need to send this to him. So I'll send it out. All right. So, anyways, here it is. Yeah, Kathy. So send that out to me, and we'll get me and Sean will sign it. Unless you want it blank. If you want it blank, that's fine too. Let me know. I'll leave it blank for you, and you can give it away to someone else. But if not, we'll sign it and send it off to you. So before we go, does anybody have any questions about anything we did tonight? Anything like that? A couple things. Make sure to use all the links down below to support us, which would be awesome. We love you. Thank you so much. And definitely, if you have not used this Nuvo embellishment, it is amazing.
Good stuff, yeah. That's very cool.
It's cool stuff. There's a ton of colors, too. All right, Kathy, I'll make sure to sign it. Just send me your address and we'll get it in the mail for you.
Yep.
So, I left you a question. What would so I had a scan and cut, and then got the scan and cut 2, which is better. Here's the deal, Renee. The scan and cut 2, really the only thing that they did is they increased the mat you can use. But if you have the original scan and cut, make sure to do the upgrade. So I have a video that says upgrade your brother's scan and cut. Because
it'll show you exactly how to do it.
It'll show you exactly how to do it, because what that will do is it will unlock certain things that made the scanner amazing. Originally, when the scan and cut was released, you could only scan in black and white, which sometimes was hard and it wouldn't pick up certain things. The upgrade did basically gave you the ability to scan and cut in colors, and it also gave you the ability to get a better scan. So upgrade it first, and then if you don't like it, but other than that, there's really no reason to upgrade to the scan and cut 2. It just gave you the ability, I think, to cut on a larger mat. There's something else, but I didn't see any big, huge differences. So.
Yeah, if you go in the software, some of the things are just some minor things. So.
Oh, thanks, Mary. It is a fun card, isn't it? So, yeah, so that's what I would do. So, any other questions?
Yeah, somebody said you could literally not even buy dyes with that, since you can do that on a machine.
Yeah, so essentially, someone mentioned that Cricut can do the same thing on a shadow cut. Do you have any video on that? So I don't know how the Cricut can do the shadow cut. So this is called an offset cut. And you can do it in the Silhouette software. It's part of a native where you can bring in something and do an offset and we'll cut it. I don't know of a native way to do that with the Cricut software, Cricut Design Space. It's something a lot of people have been asking for as offset feature, but I have not been able to figure out how to do a perfect offset like this. So that's why I use my brother's scan and cut. I also use my brother's scan and cut to cut around stamps, to create offsets, all that kind of stuff. But I know a lot of people would be asking. I have never worked with the chibi lights, and I am so interested in working with those.
What is it? I don't even know what that is.
You can put lights in your cards. It's very cool.
Oh,
so I'll show you. So anyway, so yeah. Yeah, I mean, the stencil should be clean right away, but I have amazing stuff from Fun Stamper's Journey that's going to clean this off in nothing flat.
Yep.
So Fun Stamper's Journey, you want to see? This video is going too long, but that's okay. This stuff, True Fusion Cleaner, normally, so, but if you just do a little bit, Sean said, because it's powerful stuff.
And women and ladies who have fingernail polish,
ta-da!
forget it.
Look at that.
Disappear.
Yeah. So this is, I mean, the baby white does a good job, but this stuff is amazing. True Fusion Cleaner from Fun Stamper's Journey.
Yeah, it's good stuff.
It's good stuff, but it will take your fingernail polish off. It's amazing stuff. It's what I clean all my stamps with. Look at that.
So Mary says she has a friend that knows how to do the offset with a Cricut.
What?
Mary just said that she has a friend that knows how to do an offset with
Well,
Cricut.
have your friend reach out to me because that's secret information.
Very secret.
I know you can do it in... A lot of people that have Cricuts will use Inkscape to do it, but natively on a Cricut, I don't know how to do an offset. It's something that I've been wanting to do, but I don't know how to do that.
Keep telling the big boys, say,
yeah.
Where is it? Where is it? Where is it?
Yes. All right, guys. Well, thanks for joining us for today's card. It was super fun. I'm glad you like it. And we will be back, not tomorrow. We'll be back on Thursday for our live. And we will... so someone said Troy Young has a video on that. Troy uses Inkscape to create his offset. I've seen that video. So it's not native to Cricut Design Space. So yeah, so reach out to, we'll be back on Wednesday. We will see everyone then. Thanks so much, everyone.
Thanks, everybody. Bye-bye.